much for joining me to share your story of working with ArcVida.
Hi, I'm happy to.
Tell me about how you were feeling when you first started working with us.
Well, as a mid-career professional who found myself in the job market laid off in the middle of COVID, I was feeling, fearful, but also like just silver lining, feeling like this could be an opportunity for me, like to shake up my life in a way that I hadn't planned on, but there might be something good out there.
And what was your experience like? Tell me about sort of broadly what it was like.
My experience was really good. I felt like I came into the work, the early modules were really valuable to me in terms of thinking through both learning more about myself as a professional from other people's perspectives, and then also starting to build out what ideal work would look like to me. That was really helpful um, in framing, and then starting to have conversations with a lot of people and learning how to do that really well, and make it what could feel really awkward feel more comfortable, was really helpful.
Nice, nice. And what about your experience with the group? I know you were in a group that met weekly, and then also with your cohort leader. What was that like for you?
My experience with the group was mixed. I'd never done anything like that, quite like that in a group. And it was at a time where I had a scheduling conflict. And so every week I was in this position of making a value judgment about which was going to be the best use of my time. And so that was hard. And there were days when I was like, oh, I don't actually feel like going to group. And then I would go kind of groaning. And then I can think of one day in particular where I just got a lot of value from the rest of the group. I was stuck and expressed where I was struggling, and people in the group gave me an idea and challenged me to show up and start posting more on LinkedIn. And that just really, like, their encouragement really helped me. I ended up, pursuing some of that and doing some different taking some different actions than I would have at a time when I was stuck.
Nice. And what was your experience with your cohort leader like?
My cohort leader was great. He was always willing to engage both during group and then was available to answer questions, followed up with me in emails, and just helped keep me on track in a way that I felt like he was monitoring my progress. So I wasn't feeling like I was out there alone doing things. So that felt good.
Nice. And
He also made the connection. He also made the connection for me that resulted in this new work that I get to do.
oh, that was really fortunate. We don't market that, but definitely we all try to help each other. And as the network grows, that's awesome. How long did it take you? I don't know if you know exactly from start to finish in terms of weeks, and also how much time were you spending on an average week, would you say, on this process?
So it took me longer than I wanted. I didn't hit either of my first two target dates, but I chalk that up to just the competitive job market right now. So it took me May, June, July, August, so 4 months, and I treated this like a full-time job one week, and then the next week like a part-time job, and then the next week I needed a break, and then like there'd be 2 weeks of like full-time job. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of irons in the fire, and then I would need a little bit of a break to sort of reset. But I really did try to keep my mind in the space of like my full-time job is to create the career that I want in my life.
Nice. Okay, so talk about that. What were you exploring and what was your outcome?
So for me, in the early conversations, like out of like maybe module 2, when you get some 360 feedback, was really thinking a lot about what other people see as my superpowers, and how do I make sure that those become the non-negotiables in my next role, because that sets me up for success to do the things that I do well and the value that I bring to a team that I get to work on. And so I was very clearly then able to talk about my strengths and where I add value in organizations. And that helped me sort of navigate all the different kinds of opportunities that were still available. And where that landed me is in a place where I get to consult with an organization that I'm really values aligned to and committed to their mission. And I get to kind of try them on for a short amount of time. And I'm also able to remain pretty nimble in an industry in sort of education nonprofits that's really unstable right now. And so I appreciate having the flexibility. So it's been a great solution for me. And I
Awesome.
would have never, I would have never thought of it before. True story.
I love your phrasing around superpower. Um, Earlier, you mentioned something about what would have to be true for you in order for something to be a great alignment and feeling like you belong. How does this current role match with those factors?
It matches incredibly well. One of the things that I had to be honest about with myself was that if an organization was doing incredible work, but they were going about it in a way that didn't align with sort of centering humanity and acknowledging each other as people and as whole people beyond our work, that I wasn't going to be happy there. So one of the things that that means for me is I don't want to be a part of an organization culture that values and rewards spending a lot of hours beyond normal work time, right? So that marathon thing happens a lot in education, and I've learned that that's not the way I work best, and that I make bigger, stronger, more lasting contributions if I'm not trying to work 12 hours in a day. And I needed to be real and honest about that. And now in the consulting and contracting space, I control how many hours I work in a day. And that's now within my locus of control. And I'm able to center my own humanity in a way that feels good to me.
Oh, that sounds lovely. So, as a wrap up, what kind of person do you think would benefit from working with ArcVida, either career stage or kind of what people need?
I think this is a really valuable service to have a community as you go through something like this. So definitely for folks who are finding themselves unexpectedly looking like the ground shifts under your feet, and that doesn't feel great. So it's really nice to have some of the tools and the structure and the relationships and the network and the community that ArcVida has provided to me during this time. But I also think that if you are someone who has aspirations for making some sort of a pivot or for expanding your impact in an industry, and you know it's not going to be in the current role that you're in, I think that's also a place where ArcVida could add value. I think if you're feeling lost about where to go, ArcVida is a good place to start. They shape a path for you pretty clearly. And if you go down it and you look around what's hiding at each bend, there's some pretty cool people and opportunities that seem to come up out of that. Um, Also, if you're a person who is strategic, like I'm a pretty strategic person in the way I like to tackle a problem. And so I found like-minded people at ArcVida who were like, yes, there absolutely is a strategy for this. Let's agree on the strategy and then you execute. So I think it can meet a lot of people.
Great. Well, thank you. I'm thrilled for you. Your outcome sounds amazing. And I'm really grateful that you're willing to share your story. You know, a lot of people are just kind of trying to figure out like what's going to work. So thank you so much.
Yes, no, thank you. I'm full of gratitude and look forward to staying a part of the network and seeing your impact and influence grow and helping people find happy work.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.